The spokesman for the South African president, Thabo Mbeki, insists that it was a decision South Africa made by themselves. But at the same time, he says that, yes, China had approached us about it, and we know China is concerned, but they're sticking to the line that it is in the best interest of South Africa not to have the Dalai Lama here. Now, they're saying that their decision was reached by themselves, not because of Chinese objections.
Now, apparently Nelson Mandela's son had said this was a sad day for South Africa. Clearly, on the ground, people have different opinions. Yes,
it's actually Nelson Mandela's grandson, Chief Mandela, who is one of the organizers of this peace conference. It was a very emotional Mandela, or Chief Mandela. It was a bit reminiscent of his grandfather, who, spoke about the sad day for not just South Africa, but also for the continent. And he also went on to say that, he hopes that South Africa doesn't continue on this route, and that we do not, or South Africa doesn't bow to pressure from any country. So obviously, a emotional day for the organizers, and particularly Mandela.
So what happens now? I mean, the Dalai Lama has been refused this visa on this occasion for this particular peace conference. I don't know if there's been any discussion, perhaps, of him coming at some other time. In the meantime, this was all geared around the football and, the fact that this is meant to be, this is all about peace. What happens now, so far as the conference is concerned?
That's a good question. Now, the organisers are trying to bill this as a postponement, but let's be honest. The peace conference has been cancelled. It's been cancelled because the Dalai Lama didn't get a visa. Now, Irving Khoza, also one of the organisers, who's the chairman of the soccer league, which was planning it, when asked, said, he hoped to have it before 2010, but I don't see that happening. Also, sitting in the press conference was the presidential spokesman for President Mokhlante Thabo Mbeki. He was not keen to speak to the press afterwards, but they just kind of surrounded him, and all he kept repeating was that South Africa has made their decision and they stick by their decision. So in reality, do not see this peace conference happening before 2010, if at all.
Kim, just one last question. You talk about this press conference that was held. I think a lot of people who are hearing about the story will be quite surprised that someone like the Dalai Lama has been refused the visa. I mean, what was the atmosphere there like?
Well, it was mainly journalists, but I think throughout South Africa, it's fair to say that most South Africans are embarrassed by this decision. It's a peace conference about human rights and celebrating South Africa's human rights, and I don't think many South Africans were aware that the Dalai Lama was even coming until the ban happened and the conference fell apart. So I think generally most South Africans are a bit embarrassed by the government. The government still hasn't, to be honest, said why. They've said that it's not in the best interest of the nation, but won't elaborate what that actually means.